Hello, Life Science class. This is your 21A section of notes. We've been talking about all of the 11 systems of the body, and in chapter 21A here, we're looking at the respiratory system. The main job of the respiratory system is to exchange carbon dioxide for a fresh supply of oxygen. Our lungs are going to inhale the air that we breathe, hopefully having good quality amount of oxygen, and be able to exhale our air being mostly carbon dioxide. Air enters through our nostrils or mouth, and there's mucus that is going to trap various dust and allergens that are out there. Little cilia that line the cavity of our nose to be able to sneeze out and trap things that are not meant to be breathed in. Our pharynx, another word for pharynx is the throat. Our esophagus, also used for food passage but also for breathing. Our larynx, another word for the voice box. The epiglottis. The job of the epiglottis is to keep food out of the lungs, right? So when you're drinking something and it quote unquote goes down the wrong pipe and you start coughing, that's really your epiglottis kind of sputtering and cleaning out the passageways of airflow. The uvula keeps food out of the nose. The glottis is going to be basically your vocal cords voice box cover. Okay, your trachea, that's your windpipe, is going to go into branching off into your bronchi. You have two of those. One goes to each lung, and then bronchioles and alveoli, taking air into the lungs so that there's a good exchange of oxygen going into the blood, carbon dioxide coming out of the blood. Gas exchange. So your lungs are going to put oxygen into the blood and take carbon dioxide out of the blood into the lungs, and then it can be exhaled out of the body. Our breathing process, basically inhaling and exhaling of air. The physiology, so how do we breathe? What are the functions of all of the parts of our body in terms of breathing? Inhaling is done by making our thorax, our chest cavity, larger, and we have a diaphragm, a muscle that's going to allow opening up of our chest cavity to make it larger, and that will allow oxygen to come in. Exhaling is done by making the thorax smaller. Expanding the diaphragm, pushing upward, is going to expel air out. Some problems that can happen. Pneumonia, one of the disorders that could happen in your respiratory system. It's basically an infection that causes alveoli to become inflamed and filled with fluid, and that's not a good thing because your alveoli are supposed to be full of air, not fluid. Another problem, tuberculosis. A bacterial infection causes clumps of damaged lung tissue, and therefore your tissue cannot exchange gases. This can be treated with antibiotics. Emphysema, another disorder, a lung disease often that's associated with smoking. During this emphysema, your alveolar lining becomes stiff, and that prevents them from being able to do their job properly. The last problem we're going to talk about today, collapsed lung. And this might happen as a result of an injury or accident. it's going to cause a puncture to take place, and the alveoli are going to lose most of their air, and that's, like I said, the result of a hole happening in your chest cavity that's going to puncture a lung. It can also be caused by fluid that gets into your thorax and pushes on the lung. So that's the end of our 21A notes for today. Thank you.